Hey guys, back with another BTD5 tutorial. This one's going to be a little bit more of an in-depth explanation on the weapons files. What we're going to accomplish in this video, this episode as you might want to call it, is taking the Dartling gun and changing it so instead of shooting darts, it shoots lasers. It's going to be the same weapon, but we're going to make it look like it's shooting lasers. We're also going to change the damage type, so it's going to be changed from piercing damage to plasma damage. We're going to go over the different types of damage types, so you guys know what you have to work with. And as a fun one, a nice little surprise, we're going to make it so when it does hit a balloon, it applies the napalm status effect, which means it's on fire. Alright, so let's get started. Go to your assets folder, JSON. We're going to have to get a few things here. Let's start by upgrade definitions, and we're going to get the super monkey upgrades, and you'll see why we did that in just a second. Go back to your JSON, go to weapon definitions. Now we're going to go to, where is it? Mortar tower. Go to mortar tower. Oops, not that weapon. Get the pop and awe weapon. That's where we're going to get the status effects from. Go back to weapon definitions for our final Dartling gun weapon. Okay, so now let's go over what all this means first. The type is the name of the actual weapon itself. Always leave that the same. You can rewrite this weapon as much as you want, so long as the type name or the type right here is the same. Targeting range is obvious. What's the range? Cooldown time. How long it takes between each shot. Fire delay time. It could be confused with cooldown time, but what fire delay time is how long does it take for when, well, let me rephrase that. When a balloon comes inside the tower's radius, how long does it take for the tower to be like, or the monkey to be like, oh snap, there's a balloon here, let me shoot a dart. For this tower, there's no targeting fire delay, but some towers, most of them actually do have a fire delay. Can fire with no targets and round in progress, true. Most towers or most weapons don't actually have this. It's a little bit more specific to like the Dartling gun. What it means is it can fire in the round with no targets at all, but the round has to be in progress, and that's set to true. Now on to the good stuff. That's the basics. Now the actual, like, I don't even know what the word is. The actual things happening in this upgrade are known as the tasks, okay? The first task is going to be the type. The type is a projectile, which means it shoots something. The graphic name, which is what the shooting something looks like, is the Dart Monkey Dart. Anyone who knows this game knows that it does kind of shoot a dart, so yeah. Now the number of persists or num persists, that's how many balloons it's going to go through with one shot, okay? Terminate on 0 persists, true. That means that after it goes through all the num persists, it's like a countdown. Once it hits 0, the weapon will no longer be active and it will be terminated. If you set this to false, no matter what the num persists is, it'll continue on forever. If you like, you can set num persists to -1, and it'll never, ever end. Spread angle is another thing more specific to things that shoot more than one dart. The spread angle is like how accurate it is, basically. What the spread is between each shot. Because this does shoot a lot of darts, it's how focused those dart shots are. And you guys know without any upgrades, the Dartling gun isn't very accurate. Collision type once, it's not what you think it is. It's basically what happens when it hits it. Not really important. If you set it to twice, it's not going to do anything. Movement, if you couldn't guess, it has to do with movement. The type is forward, so when it shoots, it's going to go straight. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go forward on the track, it just means it's going to go straight. The speed, how fast it goes. If you guys remember, in the first video, we changed this to 2,800 and something for the Dart Monkey. That's how fast its darts shoot from his hand to the target. Cutoff distance, it's after a certain radius, the dart is just going to be terminated. So the cutoff distance on this is 1250. If you guys noticed the tack tower, it shoots tacks, but out of a very short range. They don't go on forever. And then another task built inside all of this is the type of damage. And the damage type is going to be piercing. Okay, and the amount is 1, so we have 1 piercing damage. Towers like the Monkey Village will change this so it has 2 piercing damage, which means it goes through 2 balloons. 2 layers, I should say, instead of just 1. Now, there are a few different damage types. We have piercing, we have fire, plasma, explosive, for the ice tower, it actually has ice damage type, which is weird. Haven't done too much with that, but it's there. And I believe with the glue tower, it also has the glue damage type. If you're thinking that adds the status effect, it doesn't necessarily do that. You have to actually add the status effect, which would be add the glue effect, add the ice effect. Does that make sense? Great! Okay, so what we're trying to do today is make it so the Dartling gun shoots a laser beam instead of a dart. So we're going to change the graphic name. So the reason why we got the Super Monkey upgrades up is because we're going to take the laser beam from the Laser Monkey. So scroll down a little bit, really, until you guys see graphic name Super Monkey Laser Vision Projectile Single, which is a mouthful. Just copy that and paste it over here. Okay, and let's see here. That part was pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and change the damage type from piercing to plasma. I believe it has to be capitalized. Plasma. So now it's going to go through everything it touches, pretty much. Except like a ZOMG, but it's still going to do damage. By the way, damage type has more so to do with immunities. Black balloons are immune to explosive damage, but they're not immune to plasma damage. So when we set it to plasma, they basically can go through any balloon at all. Just like a regular dart can't go through a lead balloon, but a plasma dart can for sure. Now let's go ahead and add our status effect. Where will it be? Right here. So we're going to go ahead and put a comma there. Press enter. Go to pop and awe. We're just going to go ahead and do a little bit of cheating here. We're going to copy this. Control C. Go back to the Dartling monkey. Control V. Clean it up a little bit. Gonna have to press enter. Make sure we have our brackets. Enter, back, close bracket. There we go. Now we've covered it. If you guys notice here, there's a comma right here above the status effect on the last bracket, but there is not a comma here on the bracket below the status effect. The reason why is there's nothing else listed. This is when the weapon file ends. Whenever something ends, you don't put a comma unless there's something below it. Okay, so we have it copied. Now it says type status effect. So instead of type damage, it's going to be the type status effect. Oh, okay. What kind of status? Instead of stun, we're going to put napalm. And let's make the duration, I'll leave it at 5. Ignore immunity. Now what that means is some balloons like, again, the black balloon, who's immune to explosions. Some balloons are immune to napalm, like say the ZOMG. If you set it to ignore immunity true, no matter what balloon it is, it's going to ignore the immunity. Going back to pop and awe for a sec, we're going to need a damage rate. So per second, what's the damage rate? Just scroll up until you see status napalm, copy the damage rate 1, go ahead and go back to Dartling gun weapon, where it says duration 5, press enter, paste the damage rate as 1. You can set this to whatever you want before the demonstration. I'm just going to leave it at 1. Alright, that should be it. Go ahead and Control S. And let us zip it up and test it out. BTD5. Right click on assets, 7-zip. Add to archive, BTD5.jet. Make sure we get our password. Always have to do that. Paste the password in, let it zip up. Put it in our shortcuts. Oops. Now we're gonna give it a shot. One thing I want to say before we give it a shot is what we're doing now is changing the weapon so it naturally shoots a laser beam with plasma damage and it has the napalm status effect. This is a two-part video. The second part is going to be similar to the first episode in the series, how to do everything we just did except through an upgrade instead of having it naturally work that way. Alright, let's go ahead and test it out. Alright guys, so we're in game. Let's go ahead and take our Dartling gun, place him down, and look at that. He's shooting laser beams now, but if you notice, they're kind of everywhere. So what I'm going to do for the demonstration purpose is change it from, or I'm going to upgrade it a little bit so he's a little more accurate and straightforward. There we go. Now let's go ahead and send some ceramics after him, or a couple. As you can see, he's already applying fire or napalm effect to them. Ooh, let's see if he can handle it. Let's see if he can handle it. Ooh. Well, I'm not the best when it comes to the Dartling gun, but you guys can see the napalm effect has been applied. He does have the laser beam now, and he does do plasma damage because normally he couldn't go through a lead. Fantastic. And for fun, let's see what happens when we send him via MOAB after him. And you guys don't notice this right now, but the MOAB is actually on fire. You'll see when it pops, the ceramic balloons will naturally be on fire. There is no animation for an MOAB being on fire, but rest assured it is. Well, I guess maybe someone can make a mod where when it's almost destroyed, that little flame at the end comes off. Look at that, naturally on fire. Fantastic. Alright, that's the video. That's the end of part 1. In part 2, we're going to do everything we just did, except we're going to make it an upgrade. So he'll shoot normally until we buy the upgrade. Remember to put any comments or questions in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget about our Discord channel. Plenty of people on there who'd love to help you guys out. We'd love suggestions, and we'd be more than willing to do any type of collaboration or combining everything we know. The more the merrier. Any questions or concerns that you're not really sure where I got these files from, how I did this? Make sure to watch the first video in the series, how to actually mod Bloons Tower Defense, or BTD, or Bloons Tower Defense battles. And the zip file, the zip passwords are going to be in the description below. When I say passwords, I mean all of them for BTD5, BTD battles, and Monkey City. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye!